What's going on? Matt Malatesta here. Okay, Whataburger Team of the Week this week is none other than the Barbers Hill softball team, which is reached the state finals after an incredible performance by Haley Nutter, who throws a no-hitter to advance to the state finals.
Absolutely. She threw 18 strikeouts, mind you. Out of 21 possible outs, she threw 18. The defense had a light day, but she should change her name from Haley Nutter to Haley No-Hitter because she's
goal. That was, I see you.
Yeah,
I see you.
I
see you, my dog.
I asked how many she's gotten that year, and she's like, I lost count. So that Barbers Hill team and their batting, they faced against a formidable opponent in Smithson Valley. Their pitcher was great for the majority of the game, but they had a huge third inning with Avery Corona hitting a 2-run bomb, and they had some other connections. But I'm also really impressed by how Zoe Hood, a sophomore catcher, stepped up in the absence of mainstay Peyton Helmley, who's always she and Haley have had a special connection. They said they played since they were kids together. So the fact that she's been able to step up and help keep Nutter calm, cool, and collected, which she already does enough on her own, I think they have a great chance to win a championship. They're going to have some stiff competition against Melissa this week, the reigning 5A champs, and Coach Aaron Fuller. He told me we've never played them before, so I honestly can't tell you what to expect right now. So I'm really excited. That's going to be probably the matchup of the week, I would say.
All right, well, that's it. Barbers Hill, congrats. You're the VYPE Whataburger Team of the Week. Go get them at state. This is Matt with VYPE and Matt with VYPE. We'll see you all at the games. Okay, state championship week. City of Houston, loaded. So many great teams have an opportunity to win a state championship. We'll start 6A D1, Clear Springs. Magical season. Magical.
Monumental.
They faced the Midway Panthers. It's kind of weird because Clear Springs, we did not really project them to have this sort of a season. Coach Jennifer Knight pulling all the right strings. Away they go. They get a lot of freshmen that do tremendous things this season. Just thoughts on this matchup, Clear Springs, Midway.
They definitely have their work cut out for them. Midway, on paper, they have a lot of talent. From the Waco area. Obviously, they were in the state championship last year. Clear Springs, we had them in our top 20, 25. I think we had them number 16 before the season. But yeah, of course, huge postseason they've had. And I think you can't doubt them for a second because they've been doubted the entire postseason, whether it be against Katy, whether it be against Atascocita or East Central. They know how to punch up, and that's, I think, that's the Achilles heel for Midway, because last year they had a 6-run lead in the final inning, and once they started getting a couple walks and a couple singles, they had the bases loaded for the entirety of that last inning, and once you punch them in the mouth, they didn't know how to react. I think that was the same thing with Katy. If you punch them in the mouth, they're not used to that because they're used to dealing the damage. And if you can do that against Midway, which I think that Clear Springs has the offensive propensity to do so, and like you said, they got a lot of freshmen with Elisa Garcia and Mackenzie Thomas, who I believe leads the team in home runs, but you got some senior leadership with Ariana Garcia, Aaron Polite, and I mean, Jenna Hashaw, she's shown to be pretty good from the mound, but if you need to, you got Grace Hurst in the wake. I don't know. This team, their offensive power alone, I think, can get them a championship and make history this week.
We are using SAT words like propensity now. That's what we're doing.
I'm a human thesaurus. You know
Good
that.
Lord. 3 sets of sisters on this team.
That's incredible.
It's kind of cool.
On the starting lineup.
That's kind of wild. So that's 6 of 9.
So you
right?
got the 2 Colianes, Brinley and Brooke, and then you got the 2 Streevers, Alana and Emily. I think Alana is their leadoff and Emily's their 9-hole hitter. And then obviously the Garcia sisters, Ariana and Elisa.
And it was kind of weird is they don't have like a stud. They don't have like a UT, A&M, LSU, OU commit. They got Florida A&M and Abilene Christian.
Yeah.
They're just gluey. They're just glued. They come together. They're young. They don't get intimidated by the lights. First championship ever. My prediction is they take an L.
I'm optimistic.
Okay, good. All right, 6A, D2, state final. Kingwood Mustangs, Forney Jackrabbits. I am excited about Crystal Williams-Yates and her 2 Olympic medals. She's one of the coolest coaches in the city of Houston. Kingwood is 33-4-1. You live in Kingwood. I know you're going to have a dissertation about Kingwood for 45 minutes that nobody's going to care about but you. So they're going to win. They're winning state.
I think out of everybody, they have one of the highest chances out of Houston. I spoke with Coach Williams Yates this morning, and she talked about their mantra, which is prove it. And I've heard them say it over and over again. And I asked her about it this morning, and she said, basically, after last year, we wanted to show everybody like we belong in this stage. And I think they've done that and then some. Hunter Quintel's really came into her own as their pitcher. Obviously, Addie Shepard. Mia Gagliardi had a huge series against Dripping Springs whenever they swept them last week. She had a grand slam and a 2-run homer, 9 RBIs. Leilani Garcia had a 3-run homer. They have so many weapons, and those are just their stars. And I've preached it every single week that we've talked about them. They have so much depth across the board. Even like I didn't even know this until today. Coach Yates, Williams Yates' young daughter, Kendall Yates, is on the team as well. So it's a lot of wealth. Forney's had a great year. They've defeated some huge teams as well. So they're very similar in the aspect that they've been here before, but I definitely say the Baby Blue has the edge here.
Kingwood has never won a state championship. Forney won in 2018.
They've been to the tournament 5 times. This is the 5th time.
I'm going Kingwood.
Me too.
5-8 D1 Barbers Hill Melissa. This is the heavyweight of the weekend. Heavyweight bout.
Definitely.
Barbers Hill. Dude, Barbers Hill some dogs, man. They are just that team dating back to Sam Landry and that team that won state in 2021. They're so good. But they play Melissa. Everybody's on the Melissa bandwagon, including you. I don't even know where Melissa is. Where's Melissa?
I just know it's in
It's in
Dallas.
Texas.
I think it's North Dallas.
Okay.
North DAW.
They have completely dominated. Shortstop going to Texas. Third baseman going to Florida.
And they got a lot.
Barbers Hill has Haley Nutter. Haley Nutter is for real. She's going to Kentucky. Pitcher, fielder, hitter, stud. What's the breakdown?
She is the key. Because as you mentioned, Melissa's got like Kagan Crabtree and Kennedy Bradley. Those are the 2 huge commits. They got Hutton Adrian, who's had a phenomenal sophomore year. The key is to limit and mitigate their offensive power because they have so many weapons. Once again, I'm going to speak some high...
Mitigate. No one watching this podcast even knows what mitigate means, but carry on.
I'm sorry I make you thinky hardy here. But yeah, Haley Nutter, obviously we talked about it. She's got that 18 strikeout no-hitter against a great opponent in Smithson Valley last week. I don't think she can get a no-hitter against this team. I don't think anybody can. But I think if she can corral them in, then the batters on the other side of the plate have a strong shot because they've shown, and they're not a bunch of huge names. We've talked about it's not like the same thing on the other side, but they know how to hit, they know how to rally, and you said I'm all high on Melissa. I'm optimistic once again. I think Barbers Hill has the vibe here.
Oh, you're going Barbers Hill.
BH, yeah.
I'm going Melissa.
The who?
Okay, finally, Class 5-8 D2. This is a lock. If you have a lock, this is the lock.
This is the matchup I'd say is the most likely.
Lake Creek plays Hallettsville. Lake Creek is undefeated on the season. A couple years back, they were the national champions. They won another state championship before that. They haven't. This is a second-year head coach who has done a tremendous job, Candace Carter. They're somewhat loaded, but they're super young. So they're going to be here this year, the next year, and the next year.
Yeah, they have a very select few seniors.
Yeah, they're not.
Like Chesney Davis might be one of the only notable one I can think of. Maybe Chloe Futch, who's I think an outfielder for them.
Yes.
But I mean, their junior class is loaded with Sarah Wiggins, who's really stepped up because we didn't know who. I mean, we had an idea, but we were like, who's the pitcher? Throughout the first half of the season, whenever they were undefeated, we're like, who's throwing for them? Sarah Wiggins, Wichita State, she's balling. Chesney Davis, she can always step in. I think she plays first base whenever she's not there. Good two-way player. Madeline Davis, I believe, is her leadoff hitter. North Carolina commit. She is great hitter. I think they moved her to the outfield this year. She's really coming to her own. I don't know. Like you said, they're 36-0. I think out of everybody in the Houston area, this is the most likely opportunity. They're going to get their third championship. I can almost guarantee it.
I think Lake Creek wins. I think Melissa wins. I think Kingwood wins. And I think Clear Springs does not win. So I'm going two state championships out of Houston. You say what?
I think that's a minimum of 2. I'm going to say clean sweep. But it's going to be a tough road for that. It's a lot of things need to happen. It's got to be a lot of guts. And I think Houston has shown we got guts this year.
All right. Matt Malatesta, Matthew Ogle, state championship week in softball. We're pumped. Follow us. He's going to be there. Al's going to be there. It's going to be fire coverage.
See you in the cones.
All right. We'll see all the games. Good luck.
All right.
What's up, everybody? Matt Malatesta, Jackson DePasquale, state, semis, baseball. Let's go. Houston has a lot of teams in here. What's kind of wild is 3 teams from Humble ISD are in it. Kingwood, K Park, and Atascocita. That's awesome for that district. Just think about that district. Football, dominant. Baseball, dominant. Kingwood, girls in the state finals. I don't know what they're doing over there, but they're doing it.
Summer Creek girls basketball wins state too.
What? Track?
Yeah.
Boys and girls track are sick. Dang. There's only one district in the city of Houston for that matter. All right, so here we go. We have some contenders. We have some locks to bring home some hardware to Houston. All right, let's start with 6A D1. State semis, Atascocita plays the Lake Travis Cavs. Atascocita had a wild weekend last weekend. And again, this is a team that's had first-round draft. They had 2 first-round draft picks, a couple of years ago? Maybe last year.
Maybe like 1 or 2 years ago.
And they've never really been able to win it and put it together as getting to state. This is amazing that they're getting there. Second-year head coach, Jeremy O'Neill. They faced a really good Lake Travis team. Lake Travis, Ryan Rogers, of course, he's the head coach over there. They haven't been to state since 2019. They've never been to the finals. I think here's the thing with Atascocita. They were backs against a wall against a favored Pearland team, scratch out 2 close wins to advance to get here. They kind of are, what's the word? You can never count them out. They just are very, very scrappy. What do you think about these teams? I think Atascocita gets by Lake Travis to get to the finals.
Yeah, I know. Atascocita wasn't necessarily a team that we thought was going to beat Pearland last week. Obviously, Pearland's made the state championship game or Final Four the past 3 years. So you sit there and you look at that and see what they did against Pearland against a guy like, I believe Partita pitched one of those games. So to see them do that and come back and win that series was huge for them. I believe it's their first time in the state Final Four since 2014. So it's been a little while for Atascocita, but they're facing a tough opponent in Lake Travis. You know, this is a Lake Travis team that has seen some success in the past. So I think for Atascocita, it's all going to be about carrying on the momentum that you had this past weekend. You know, you go down 1-0 in the first game, and then it's win or go home after that. So you got to kind of take that mentality into this series this weekend. And, you know, they'll be playing at Bluebell Park and College Station. So a little bit of travel there, but I think it'll be a fun series. And I think it'll definitely go to 3, but it's a toss-up for me on who wins this one.
So we have 2 teams that are in the Class 6A D2 state semis, which is kind of cool. Kingwood plays Dripping Springs. We had a media day over at Dripping Springs. Bro, these guys look like football players. They're 2 pitchers, Tennessee and Texas, both committed. They're massive. And I'm like, bro, what do y'all do? Do y'all not play football? No football, straight baseball. Dripping Springs is 28-10. I'm not sure they're tremendous hitters. They play a Kingwood team that is hitting on all cylinders. They beat Memorial, Katie Taylor, I think that was kind of an easy one for them. But I think Kingwood under Michael Oros can get it done here also.
Yeah, Kingwood has faced some really good pitchers down the stretch in the playoffs. Obviously, facing those two guys at Memorial and doing what they did there, taking down the top state ranked team. But Dripping Springs has elite pitching too, so it's gonna be Kingwood. What are you gonna do next? Because you've had a successful season. I believe they've lost under 10 games this year, maybe even under 5. They've lost
36 and 3.
That's crazy.
It's wild.
That's crazy. So I think for Kingwood, it's just going to be continuing this offensive kind of stretch that they're on, hitting the ball. Also hitting the ball with runners in scoring position. That's probably the most important part of playoff baseball is taking advantage of early opportunities. We've seen top teams struggle doing that. In particular, like the Woodlands and Memorial, they struggled doing that against that competition. So I think that's Kingwood's kind of road to success there to reach the state championship. On the Dripping Spring side, can your two aces dominate the strike zone and just kind of hold this Kingwood offense back?
Oh, man.
I,
Dripping Springs has a lefty, Taylor Tracy, going to Tennessee, and a righty, Cooper Rumenel, going to Texas. That gives me pause. It gives me worry.
to be fair, though, they face two Memorial pitchers that are going D1 too. So it's kind of like
You're right.
I think Kingwood wins this. I think it is going to go to 3 because I feel like one of these pitchers from Dripping Springs is going to have a good day, a good game.
They are. I would go Kingwood as well. Tomball playing Flower Mound Marcus. Tomball, of course, win state last year. The cool part is they're playing D2. There was no D2 last year, so they went best on best. Doug Rush, one of the best in the business. They swept Cy Woods. I thought Cy Woods was going to be give a little bit better of a fight there. But their pitching is getting together. CJ Sampson, Florida commit. Carson Reeder, Texas commit. 2 studs who were sophomores that won state last year. Now they're juniors, more experience. They're 32, 6-1. I think they win this one.
Yeah, I think Tomball's dominated the playoffs. They've absolutely dominated every team they've played so far. Reeder as a sophomore last year was state MVP. So you get that guy back, you get CJ Sampson back, and then you also throw in Catcher Hopkins, the A&M commit, and then also I forget the other player's name, but he's committed to A&M as well. So you got a lot of talent, a lot of young. Their biggest question mark from Coach Rush and even those older guys was they're going to have a lot of young pieces trying to step up this year. And I feel like they have done that. But I think this is the favorite to win state. I know we've got a lot of competition in the other side of the bracket as well. But when you got the reigning champs back and they've got a lot of experience going this deep in the playoffs, that tends to bode well for teams. So I got Tomball sweeping this one.
Flower Mound Marcus, never been to the state tournament. I'm going Tomball. Got to go Tomball. Let's go. Class 5A D1, state semis, Barbers Hill, Smithson Valley. David Denny basically invented baseball. He's been around that long. It's a long time. He's got like 600 wins. It's ridiculous. They won state in 2021. I think they're a balanced team, play comprehensive baseball, well coached, defense, decent pitching, and can hit the ball in situational situations. Smithson Valley.
They've had a year.
They've had a year
Across all
outside
sports.
of baseball, right?
Football went to state. I believe volleyball did pretty well. Softball was just in the state semifinal as well. So, Smithson Valley's having a good year across the board athletics in their athletics department. But I think Barbers Hill gets the win here and advances the state. I think that something's brewing on out in Mount Bellevue with these spring sports this year.
There's a lot of chemical plants out there, so maybe they're nuclear. I don't know what they are, but they're good at kind of everything. They're playing this game at Whataburger Field in Corpus Christi. How about that? That's amazing. And some of these games are being played at Bluebell Park at Texas A&M. Bluebell Park. What? I'm starving. All right, so we're going Class 5A D2 state semis. Kingwood Park, Liberty Hill Panthers. Kingwood Park, off the grid, completely off the grid, has had themselves a year. First state appearance since 2018. Never been to the finals. I'm feeling K Park just because they play in Southeast Texas. Southeast Texas, if they do nothing, they play baseball and softball. Dude.
And football.
Yeah. Football kind of. But Liberty Hill, 29-9. This is their first ever state championship. This is the beauty of how they built the playoffs now with Division I, Division II brackets. Genius. I love it. So these two teams have really never been to the finals. So now they're playing each other in state semis. So, I mean, I'm feeling kind of lucky again. Kingwood Park could win this, and that would be a lot of teams advancing to state finals next week.
Yeah, I think Kingwood Park is on a good run right now. I think that they carry that into this series against Liberty Hill. Obviously, you make that drive down the Corpus Christi, so that's always a factor. We talked about that for, I believe it was the Klein Kane Rockwall series. Klein Kane got a home playoff game night 1. They got to sleep in their own beds. Then Rockwall had to drive all the way back to Rockwall for game 2. That was the next day. So driving down the Corpus Christi is going to be an interesting move, interesting series, just the travel part of it. So I'll be interested to see if the teams just get a hotel down there. But I think K
Well,
Park.
these two teams play in Sugarland at Constellation Field.
Gotcha.
The Barbers Hill, Smithson Valley go to the end of the world called Corpus Christi, Texas to play. That's so far. That's
really
ridiculously far. All right.
I still think Kingwood Park wins this series. And they advance the state championship, I believe, for the first time ever.
Yep. It's awesome. All right. Huge week. Baseball and softball. We'll see how many Houston area teams reach the state semis. We're predicting several. In fact, we're predicting everyone.
I think our Whataburger team of the week next week is really going to be like 7 teams next week. It's going to be pretty hard. So
let's eat that Whataburger. Pop, 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 pop. All right. This is Matt. Malatesta, Jackson DePasquale. We will see y'all at the games. Get out there. Also, follow us on all of our social media channels and like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Keep this content coming. Keep it coming. All right. See you all at the game. Big state week. Big state semifinal.